Good evening. Welcome to the September 23rd, 2025 meeting of Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all of the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Well, that Pledge of Allegiance sounded really good, so you're welcome to come back every council meeting. Thank you. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mr. Siracusa?
Here.
Mayor Dreese?
I am here. The next item on the agenda is presentations. Recognition of Beatrice Stanton's 101st birthday. Wow, that is awesome. We have a proclamation we'd like to read, if we could. All right, should we go down?
We go down.
I thought y'all came to see me. Apparently not. That's okay. Melissa, can you hear me? Anyway, too bad. Right, from the Township of Pequannock, whereas Beatrice Stanton, known to her many friends and loving family as B, celebrated her 101st birthday on September 18, 2025. And whereas B, who was born in Fox Chase, Pennsylvania in 1924, where even in childhood she distinguished herself as a gifted and diligent student. And whereas B and her husband, Frank Stanton, in 1953 moved into Willrue Parkway in Pompton Plains, where they raised their two sons, Frank and Gary. Who's Frank and Gary? There you go.
I'm the younger one.
Still doing it.
And B opened her heart to the community as an active member of First Reformed Church, added beauty with her showings of art and photography, and is now the longest surviving member of the Suburban Women's Club. And I do notice all the pictures that are still in the church. I'm in Grace Chapel every Wednesday morning, and it's a beautiful picture there, so I look at it every Wednesday. So thank you for that. And whereas B has filled her life in the lives of her 2 children, 5 grandchildren, 5 so far great-grandchildren, any number of family, pets, and many friends with her boundless creativity, curiosity, and compassion. Now, therefore, the mayor and the members of the Pequannock Township Council hereby wish B. Stanton the happiest of birthdays and many more days of love and joy. Happy birthday, B. Take a picture?
Yeah.
Or you want to stand here and take a picture?
No, she can go.
All right, come on up.
Come on.
Whatever you want.
You can go ahead.
If you come up here, then everybody can take a picture.
You're going to stand in between everybody.
Is it true, B, that you took the stairs to get up here?
Take the ladders out.
You stand next to your mom?
Yeah, that's good. How's that? That's good.
Beautiful.
How's that?
Jeez.
Go big.
All right.
Congratulations, B. Happy birthday.
Take care of her.
Thank you for doing this.
Took the stairs.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll be 101 by the time we get up the stairs.
I do see all the paintings in the church hall, so it's always cool that they're painting, drawing.
Yeah, she loved it. She loved it.
No shake of hand.
Sure, anytime you want.
You're gonna get jumping.
You're welcome to stay or you can go. Right, Carol?
Yep. More the merrier.
No, it's okay.
She's gotta go jogging.
That's okay.
Thank you all for coming.
She says she's got to go home and clean her windows. Yes.
Come on, come on. I got it. I got my money.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
See you later, Mark.
Oh, yeah?
You'll find out.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing how she gets around, right? Sure. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Absolutely.
Congratulations. Our pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you, Gary.
All right, Pete, take care. Happy birthday, Pete. Sorry I'm not there.
Now she talks.
Has to contribute. Even if it's just...
I'm surprised she didn't make one of those heads.
All right, moving on with the agenda. This time, are there any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community?
God almighty.
Seeing none, we'll go to number 7, public comment. The next item on the agenda is public comments. This comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Additional time is reserved later in the meeting. We welcome comments, suggestions, and questions. However, the purpose of this time is to allow public comment and not to engage in a dialogue. If you have a specific question, please feel free to pose it and then follow up with staff via telephone or email. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, please. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Yes, sir, Mr. Peter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Peter Schmidt, 16 Manor Avenue. I want to talk about my pet project, artificial intelligence.
I have a hard time with regular.
However, to have that discussion in a town, you need a topic that is relevant for the town. And I think one of the most relevant topics of the town is the budget. So I use ChatGPT, I use that, I pay $20 a month, I pay $40 for another one, Cloud, for my programming. So I ask it, can AI and digitization improve the efficiency of a town? And it said yes, and many, many, many words behind it. So I said, what does that mean in terms of money? And it said 20 to 40% in terms of cost savings. And immediately, I should, you have the paper a week ago. So I immediately asked, that sounds great. Are there any examples for that? And it says, yes, Denver, San Francisco, and many other. I have a list here. I have this on paper here. I have a list here, and it looks really impressive. So I said, but these are big cities with big budgets, Are there any smaller cities? And it said, well, I have the list here.
I would like to hear it say that. Sorry, Peter.
Do you have it on voice command? Does it actually answer you, or does it?
Oh, I type it in. I say.
But it doesn't speak to you back.
But I talk to it like my assistant.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's my assistant. It's not my friend. It's not my friend. And what it gives me is not a real true answer, but some average out of internet data that it can find. You see that? You always have to be aware of that. This is not, you cannot blindly believe that. However, it gave me a list. Englewood has a chatbot, Prospect Part, Hamilton Township, Middletown, South Orange Village. So we could go there and ask them and say, does it really work? How much does it really save? You know? So all I want to do today, I don't want to propose a digitization project, because many of them go wrong. What I want to propose is that we start using AI and chat and LLMs a little bit more. Where should it start? Sorry to say that. With the council. So my proposal actually is, I volunteer to show everybody of you in any way or shape you want, alone, in private, or in a group, or however you want, how I use ChatGPT or LMN, and encourage you to use it for your everyday's needs. You will use it anyhow in 2 or 3 years, like you use email right now and text messages. It will come anyhow. But there is so much that can be gained by having all this information at your fingertips. Instead of Googling it for half an hour and sorting through the document, it gives you right the answer. You know, how can I appreciate my wife better? Give me a list of things to do. Gave me 6 things. I did 3.
So you're halfway there. That's good.
Well, I don't like everything that it proposes. Let me, since I have a nice audience here, let me address two typical concerns that I hear. Yeah? One is, I apologize, I'm German. I can only speak directly. I'm too old to learn all this. And then you have an American word at the end. So I asked ChatGPT, of course, is it true that older people cannot learn computer skills? And it said, this is absolutely not true. There are many studies that older people, elderly people, whatever, can learn everything they want. Absolutely true. If you want to learn a little bit...
I use it for advertising.
I use it all the time.
The next one is, I heard that, this is not for me, this is for the department heads in our town. And I heard that argument a lot in businesses as well. I'm a manager. I don't have to know that. I have people who know that. So as soon as you say something like that, the people say, I want to be a manager too. I do that with ignorance. I don't have to learn. I have my staff that has to learn it. And then the staff down there at the bottom says, I don't want to learn. I show them. They don't know what they are talking about. I show them that it will not work. Yes, so I think the learning of AI has to start with the council, and that's why I have this proposal. So I meet in any way or shape with you, and show you what I can do, and hopefully we go somewhere. Okay? Thank you very much.
Peter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Carol's going to call Melissa because she got disconnected. She didn't want to call when Peter was speaking.
Okay.
Because it's loud, this phone.
That may be more challenging than...
I use AI.
Yeah, you say
I wouldn't say, but more and more.
I use it. I'm not a very good writer.
Just do it on
So,
to help you with it.
to help me write, do advertising
for that.
or doing
Yeah.
something.
You have to work on EI, emotional intelligence.
Oh, there you go. I don't have any of that either. I cry.
Oh, should I put it?
That's not what that means.
Teasing.
Hey, we're going to do it on my phone because she's having problems with the
Yeah.
thingamajigger.
use
So
it. I use it.
my phone is laying down now by the microphone.
Thank you.
I did the whole
All right,
thing.
we're going to move on. Anybody else for public comment? Yes, come on up.
Should I make a picture live?
Send it down my bill for the minutes.
Good evening, Lorraine Robertson. Basically, just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to our questions and comments last meeting. And I just wanted a little bit of follow-up. Has the council decided if they were going to attend any of the future online hearings? And basically where we stand with the lawsuit case. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask Mr. Osterreich when we're done if he has any updates.
Thank you.
Anybody else, public comment? Yes, come on up.
Good evening, Paul Mailer, Pequannock Township.
Good evening.
In the past, I've come before this body expecting some kind of action based on official public misconduct. On one occasion, I brought you irrefutable proof, including written statements from fellow residents, that the then sitting mayor had lied to another resident about me. You did nothing. On another occasion, I brought you irrefutable proof, including a written statement from the then interim librarian, that a sitting councilwoman had lied about a fellow library trustee. Not only did you do nothing, you reassigned Councilwoman Russell as council's liaison to the library. My expectation was that you would have censured those officials, or at least suggested they offer an apology. Tonight, I come to you without expectation. I simply want you to listen. There have been many times you've heard residents come to this microphone and express anxiety at speaking in public. At the June 10, 2025 Town Council meeting, a Pequannock Township high school student mustered up the courage to stand in front of you and read into the record the values they hope we will all someday honor. So that student read the 2025 Pequannock Township Pride Proclamation and about their right to have us all, quoting from the proclamation, stand with them to protect their civil rights and their ability to live openly, equally, and without fear. One would imagine that they would like to share that experience with their friends and family. After all, they have a right to be proud of that recitation in so formal a setting. So imagine, if you will, just before they started to speak, at the 5:57 mark of the June 10 recorded minutes, they heard Councilwoman Russell whisper to her colleague, "Is this necessary?" To that I say to you, Councilwoman Russell, that you and the entire Pequannock Township Town Council, that yes, it was necessary. We all respect your right to your personal beliefs, but your job sitting on that dais is not just to listen, but to always, at the very least, be respectful of anyone having the courage to speak. On June 10th, you failed miserably in that responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Yes, come on up. Sorry. Anybody else? Yes, come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Council, Mayor. I just wanted to, Dana Calabrese, sorry. I wanted to follow up, see if there was any further conversation regarding the bicycle pump track that we proposed at last meeting. So that's item number 1. Number 2, I wanted to offer some little tidbits of possibilities for funding, because I understand that another project like that may not be the priority for everybody here. However, as it is a fun, safe place to stay active for the whole family, I think it's in the community's best interest to actually pursue this and, really give a true, honest consideration for a place for the kids to spend some really healthy outside active time. Did a little bit of research, construction funding ideas. Aside from the municipal budget, there are public health and wellness grants that we can absolutely explore, local business sponsorships, national brand sponsorships like Trek, Santa Cruz, bicycle manufacturers, community foundations, material and labor contributions from the community, volunteer build days, things like landscaping, or, there's a lot of handy guys in town, lots of families that would love to pitch in for this. And then for maintenance funding ideas, because there will be some maintenance obligation, we could do like a paid membership similar to what PV and the pickleball courts get. So just wanted to offer some suggestions and also ask for follow-up, and we can do that offline another time or at a following meeting. So just wanted to touch base on that.
Okay, thank you.
Got a lot of kids counting on me.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Right, seeing none, we're going to close this section of the agenda of the meeting. And I'm just going to ask Mr. Ostek if he can just comment on 60 Sunset, on
Where we stand?
future hearings or where we stand.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So following our last meeting, I did reach out to the township's insurance defense counsel who had been appointed for us. Had a very nice conversation with him, learned a little bit more about what that proceeding had been, which was a procedural proceeding, really just to go over discovery. It was not with a judge who was going to be actually hearing this case. It was with a judge whose task it was to assist in discovery and other issues. Nevertheless, he heard me when I said, we need to know when those things are so that I can alert the council that they're going on. I'm not suggesting that the council need to attend every discovery, motion or every aspect that goes on, but I would like to know, I would like myself to be able to attend so that at least by telephone, listening, I probably would not go in person. But just so we know what's going on and can follow up with what's going on. So my intention in the future is to alert the council that this is coming, and he completely understood that and went forward. So where we're at in this process, the next step, we do have a mediation session starting, as we talked about a little bit at the last meeting. The first of those mediation sessions will be actually tomorrow. Those are not open to the public because that's the point of having mediation. But we will be reporting publicly what happens with that and where we go next. So nothing will happen tomorrow in terms of a resolution. It's sort of the beginning of a process. So that's where we're at. And until we get through that mediation process, it's my understanding there probably will be no more official court hearings or dates scheduled. But once they are, we'll alert everybody and we'll go from there. Or I will alert the council. I should be careful. I will alert the council. You obviously have your own. You're following it since you knew and we didn't, right? But thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Bob, thank you.
John, can I address something?
Sure.
So I would just like to address Mr. Muller's comment. I'm glad you went back through all the way to the June meeting to try to take something that I said and make it like it was derogatory towards a child, which is something I would never do. Whether they're straight, gay, queer, I don't care. It may not be my choice, but I respect them for their choices and I respect the children. What I don't respect is you trying to make it sound like I was being rude to a child, which is something I never would do.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. And then, Peter, I'm just going to address the AI stuff. We met and talked about AI. You haven't convinced me yet, but if anybody else wants to get into it, knock yourself out. I have a hard problem with regular intelligence, let alone artificial. So there. And Dana, we haven't had any other further discussions on that, but I think we can talk to Mr. Brewer offline about see if there's a location. But if there's a funding thing or a committee thing, you maybe try to put together to kind of do some of this, maybe. So we'll talk about that further. Mr. Brewer, if you want to address it.
I just wanted, if I could amplify your comments, and much to the frustration of all who engage in municipal government, even those who work for it, we don't move that fast. It just doesn't happen.
It's like a cruise ship, he keeps telling me.
It's nice and slow. But that's good because we spend public money, so we don't want to be arbitrary and frivolous either. So the first real questions are location. We have to explore whether that's a possibility or not. Then there's the concept of funding. Then there's a process that takes place throughout usually the fall and then the early spring when all those decisions are made, what's happening. So it's a process, but you're welcome to follow up as often with me or the council as you wish. Just forgive us if there's not going to be much in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
If I'm being overly candid, I apologize, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'd rather err on the side of being candid. My big thing is manage expectations, right? If you don't put out the expectation, then you can't get angry at people for jumping in and say, why'd you do anything? So, but thank you.
You could start a committee too, like start a committee, start doing all
right. That's what. Yeah, that's
start a committee, do fundraising, see what the public, stuff like that, and then yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes. All right, next item is the manager's report. Mr. Broder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This evening, a few items by comparison to our last council meeting. Only three. The first is there is an ordinance for the council's consideration for introduction this evening with respect to the requirements for membership of the fire department. As the council may recall, a number of months ago, the requirements for residency were loosened for junior fire department members, and there was discussion at the time that took place whether we want to apply that to the rest of the fire department, and there wasn't consensus then. However, through conversations that have happened over the last few months, there's been a recommendation to also expand the requirements for membership for fire department in an effort to attract and retain more members. So currently the code stipulates that in order to be a member of the Pequannock, or become a member of the Pequannock Township Fire Department, you have to reside within the township. You are permitted, once you are a member, to leave and live elsewhere, but in order to become a member, you have to be a resident. What is proposed and has been approved and reviewed by the fire chiefs is to retain that resides within the township of Pequannock, or reside within a municipality that's contiguous with any border of the township, or resides within 5 miles of any border of the township. I asked about that one specifically. Apparently, there are a number of gentlemen in the Public Works Department that lived in Pompton Lakes that is not contiguous, but really would like to join our fire department. And then that begot the last item, which is if an individual's employer is located within the township and that individual has the ability to respond during the day, oftentimes that's when the response is the weakest of the fire department. So if someone is employed and locally working in Pequannock Township and wants to come out and help our volunteer effort, all of this is met with my approval as well as the fire chief's. So unless the council has any questions, that's scheduled for potential introduction in an ordinance later tonight. Next up, we heard a request and a report from the Open Space Committee Chair a few meetings ago regarding a formal recognition of the properties that have been acquired along with the easements along the river, known colloquially as the Riverwalk Project. The council has a resolution scheduled this evening for its consideration to formally name that I don't want to mess this up, the Pompton River Walk Park. And within the resolution, it incorporates all of the properties that have either been acquired or easements that have been acquired to allow for that recreational opportunity. So it's been a number of years going, so compliments to the Open Space Advisory Committee for their efforts, and that is something that if the council has questions about, obviously they can be addressed, or if the council sees fit to approve the resolution as prepared, it is scheduled for that potential action. And lastly, within my report, we have the discussion item, which is last week we opened bids for solid waste and recycling collection and disposal. The increase in cost is frightening, and the corresponding impact on rates have been analyzed in an effort to guide the council to make a decision as the current contracts conclude on October 31st of 2025. Unless there's any questions on my report, that is all I have this evening. Until we discuss.
Any comments from council?
No.
Just think it's great about the fire department membership.
Yes, absolutely.
Kudos to those who thought outside the box.
All right, thank you, Melissa.
I have a question.
Sure. Mr. Evans.
So if we have somebody, as an example, public employee, regardless of where they are, right? If we allow them to join the fire department, they live in another town, they get injured fighting the fire, what does that mean for the, say, DPW? How does that work? Because I just don't know that answer.
Whether the individual is
volunteer.
employed by the township of Pequannock or another employer, if they're injured as a volunteer fighting a fire on behalf of the township's fire department, it would be a claim against the township's workers'
Is the liability still the same?
It's identical.
It's identical.
Correct.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Right, on the open space thing, it said Pompton Riverwalk Park. Is there like a walk through there, or is it just basically you walk on grass and it's not really a dedicated walkway, is it?
There wasn't.
It's just open space. It's just open.
For the open space.
My understanding is there are elements of it that you can walk on and are walked on. The goal of the committee was essentially to take the area along the river and loop back to the trail that is paved and create an opportunity for that. It is not complete. I know it remains a goal and an initiative of the group, but the goal is to create a walk in all, if not most areas.
Okay. Very good. Any other comments on the report? Hearing none, move on to item number 9. There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening. Item number 10 is introduction of ordinances. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2025-13 is an ordinance amending Chapter 5 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock and revising the eligibility requirements for membership in the Township Fire Department.
Thank you. Mr. Brewer, any more comments?
None unless there's any questions.
Right, are there any comments from council?
No, I'm all for it.
Yep, I think it's a great idea. All right, is there a motion to introduce this ordinance on first reading?
I'll make a motion to introduce 2025-13.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lawrence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Dreese?
Yes. The next agenda item is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2025-185, formally recognizing Pompton Riverwalk Park and identifying those lots specifically included in the park. 2025-186, authorizing the execution of an interlocal service agreement with the Borough of Lincoln Park for the provision of animal control services. 187, authorizing the issuance of an annual cannabis cultivar license to Hillview Med Incorporated. 188, confirming the designated memberships in the Pequannock Township Fire Department. 189, release of deposits for construction in a township right-of-way. And R 2025-190, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the September 18th, 2025 bill list and 2018 FEMA elevation escrow list.
Thank you. Are there any comments from council? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lawrence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yeah.
Mayor Dreese?
Yes. Yes. Next item on the agenda is items for discussion. Solid, I don't know if you want to do this, but I guess we have to.
Yeah, I know.
Solid waste recycling collection contracts.
This is certainly not a fun one. As the council and everyone witnessing may recall, a number of years ago, there were a lot of news stories associated with the exorbitant increase in costs associated with the collection and disposal of solid waste. The Township of Pequannock was somewhat insulated at the time because it all broke kind of in year 2 of our 5-year collection contract. Well, now, unfortunately, time and cost has caught up with Pequannock Township. Just running through things quickly, there was discussion over the levels of service that we would solicit interest in. In March of this year, we solicited bids for solid waste collection, recycling collection and disposal, and vegetative waste collection and disposal. It's unusual to go out so early, except for the fact that state statute requires a 60-day time period between the date of notification for the notice to bidders for solid waste and when that bid can be opened. So that is required by law, which is why you go out early, because what can happen is what happened in Pequannock Township. We received 2 bids for solid waste collection and disposal. The first bid was flawed and unfortunately had to be rejected due to a fatal flaw legally. The second bid was rejected because it was beyond the anticipated budget. With respect to recycling, same situation, same bidders. First bid, low bid was flawed. Second bid exceeded the budget. The last service, vegetative waste collection, was received and opened, and the council made a decision that that contract would be awarded. So that 5-year contract was awarded. In May, we went back out for solid waste collection and recycling collection and disposal, and we received and opened those bids on September 16th last year. The challenge when making decisions with respect to these increases, which range in the hundreds of percent, is we do not incorporate the collection and disposal of solid waste and recycling within our tax bills. We have a solid waste utility. So between last Tuesday and Friday, an analysis was undertaken to determine what the impact of the different levels of service would be on those utility rates. And in an effort to conceptualize this and present it in a way that can be easily digested and decisions can be made from an informed perspective, the documentation that was prepared and included in my memo, big thanks to the Township CFO, who happens to be out right now on maternity leave, but she did some work on this before her departure, and the interim CFO was heavily involved as well, so thanks to her for the effort in such a short period of time. From a simplicity perspective, we really have a couple different things to consider with respect to the different services. Solid waste Twice a week collection, once a week collection. Recycling collection, currently we have each material, bottles and cans, paper and cardboard, collected once each week, or 4 collections each month. The alternative that was included in the bid is 2 collections for bottles and cans a month and 2 collections for paper and cardboard a month. So the way that would look would be alternating, which is consistent with a lot of towns in the region where, and I'm just picking a day at random, even though it was included in the bid, the first Tuesday of the month is paper and cardboard, the second Tuesday of the month is bottles and cans, the third Tuesday of the month is paper and cardboard, and it rolls from there on out. The bid also includes an option to continue the service where it's provided to the Board of Education. The benefit there is it ultimately saves tax dollars if you have one hauler coming into town. So I don't know if there's a lot of discussion that needs to be given to that, in that it is simply the costs that exist. Those costs are passed on to the Board of Education through an interlocal agreement. Board of Education is aware of this. They're very happy that we handled the procurement because it can be a little challenging at times. Currently, the quarterly bill is $139.35. In scenario A, we have the same level of service. That is the way we've decided to describe it internally. That $139.35 quarterly cost would increase to $209.62.
The first year.
In year 1, and each year thereafter there would be additional increases. So the quarterly difference or delta on that is $70.26 or $281 and change a year. More than what's currently being paid. Option 2, which we've come to call the reduced recycling option, that's the alternating bottles and cans, then paper cardboard each week thereafter. That, again, currently quarterly bill is $139.35. That would increase to $193.01 in year 1. So the delta each quarter,
Wait, 188.
Yeah, we're seeing different numbers now.
I got 193.
I jumped at 193.01.
Option B.
That's the quarterly cost. 193.01 would be the quarterly cost.
For the first year.
So it's right here.
There's another page.
So that would be garbage collection twice a week.
Recycling, alternating, vegetative waste.
So bottles and cans twice a month, cardboard twice a month.
Correct.
How we do it now?
So the increase there would be $214 a year annualized versus $281. So there's a decent spread there. And again, each year it increases thereafter. Option C, which is the reduction of the recycling, like in option B, and garbage once a week, goes from $139.35 to $188.43, which annually has a difference of $196.32 as an increase. So trying to get this to the lowest or most conceptually tangible way of realizing it, if we go with the current level of service, year 1 is a $281 increase. If we reduce recycling, it's $214. So that's a $65-ish savings. If we go to once a week, $196, which is only $18 over that savings.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me you're going to have to go to option 2 or 3, or B or C. It's just a matter of, can we live with garbage once a week, or do we need garbage twice a week?
I think absolutely not.
No.
We need garbage twice a week.
Right, so we should go with option 2 or
Yeah,
B.
we need garbage twice a week.
Yeah, from my perspective, for $18 a year, it's worth it to have it twice a week.
Okay, so the way it is now, it's going to be a $70 increase come January 1st.
A quarter.
A quarter,
Yeah.
if we stay with the same level of service.
Right. But, so you pick up garbage like once a week around here, and you're going to have mice and rats and everything else.
So we all agree that we need it twice a week.
Not doing that.
Garbage.
So option 3 is out.
Even the recycling, it's got to get picked up,
Option 3.
Yeah, if you think you need garbage twice a week, then you got
Yeah.
B
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, we need garbage
or
twice a week.
option
A or
1.
B.
Yeah.
You ever drive around this town on
But can we live with the recycling? I can, but I don't know how everybody else feels. Can you live with the recycling?
if you have, like,
It's only
every other-
$17 a quarter. I don't even know if it makes sense. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
I mean,
No matter what, is it a huge increase? So the question is, where's the value?
yeah, it's 17.4.
So we're going 193.01 or 209.62. We keep it the same.
First year.
Correct.
Yep.
For year one, and then again, it expands thereafter, and all this is on the website and in the memo, and
And listen, I'm not critiquing you.
Yeah.
But you said bids. It was a bid.
We only got one.
yeah. So
had
for the benefit,
bids.
so for the benefit of the record, there were 2 bids the first time we solicited open bids. The second time, there was only one.
One bid.
There was effort to ensure that the bidder, who also submitted a competitive bid, had the bid, and that company did pull the specification, and for reasons unknown, did not submit any competition.
The difference between the two, like you said, is only $17 a quarter.
A quarter.
A quarter.
To me, it makes sense just to keep it as is.
It makes sense to keep it as is. It's $17 a quarter, so $80 a year to keep everything as is instead of going down to 1.
So
I mean,
by year
we're getting an
5,
interest anyway, but
Yeah, what is it, 8 year
by year 5, it's going to be an extra $100 a quarter.
Right.
Correct.
It goes from 139.35 to 239.
$239, but the other one was $219.
Correct.
So it's still at $20 more.
I mean, so in the end, the delta is not that significant.
Yeah.
It's just shockingly expensive based upon what we're
It's going
currently
to be
paying.
expensive, but the difference between keeping it the way we want it or having less pickup is $80 a year.
Yeah. To me, that doesn't make sense.
And just so the public knows, I mean, we've only gotten one bid for the last, this is our 3rd contract that we're going to award, that we've only gotten one bid.
Yep.
Yeah, when all is said and done, we only ended up with one when it was all good.
Not really, but
I'm okay with keeping it the way it is.
Second.
I'm okay with keeping it the way it is.
Yeah, I'm good with 1 or 2 unless a lot of people are against it. I'm good keeping it or going with 2.
I mean, I'd say keep it.
So the consensus is retain the same level of service. That's the direction I'm hearing.
I think so. I mean, it's going to be a hit. I think it would probably make sure that we get it out to everybody that it's happening so they don't get bills and get all upset. Like,
100%.
Well,
you know, we've got to do a little.
We'll put a statement on the
outreach.
website. The challenge is, if we do a mailing, it's going to increase the cost even more. I'm sure it will find itself on social media.
Do we have one more quarter going out, or is it 2?
So here's what would need to happen. So as noted earlier, the current contract concludes on October 31st. The solid waste utility budget will limp through 2025 without a change in 2025.
Is there any way, though, of adding it to the next quarter bill? That
A note.
Yes.
As a note?
I can definitely ask that.
Okay. Well, I think
Heads
that's
up.
a mailer that's already, we're paying for?
Right, we're already paying
Yeah,
for
so
it, just explaining, we're under a new contract, we weighed the options.
Well, what we can do is we just put it, there's limited with the text, but we can put information and point to the website where we're unlimited.
Perfect.
And we can.
So the only comment I have is, and I'm sure we'll hear from people, but I just want to make sure all the residents, if they want the same level of service, this is what it is. If they don't, if they want something else, we need to hear that. But
Unfortunately,
we're
we're here to make that.
Yeah, the challenge is the council makes that decision on behalf of the residents.
Right, we're making a decision to keep the same level of service, which we always try to do for our residents.
Right, which
So
we think that
this
the
is what it
majority of
is.
the
Just
residents
get the word out.
would want.
Yeah, so legislatively, resolutions of award of the contracts will be prepared for the October 14th meeting. And then prior to the end of the year, there will be an ordinance prepared that will have to be adopted to adjust the rates in order to pay the necessary costs associated with the contracts. Because the award, there needs to be a certification of availability of funds by law to award the contracts, which will be predicated upon the implementation.
Does the resolution have to be approved for you to put that verbiage on the next bill? I mean, if the next bill goes out October 1st and our meeting isn't until 2 weeks later, you know we're going to approve it. Can't you put it on there anyhow?
No, I can put the wording on the bill, certainly.
Yeah, okay, good.
I'm just trying to lay out the legislative actions needed prior to the end of the year so that we have the appropriate rates in place so that we can pay the contracts. Otherwise, we end up in a problem.
Yeah, so we're going to be a little bit different in the deficit on January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd because we don't have the money in from the residents yet to pay the increased bills.
Correct.
Because their first bill is going to be $70 higher
Correct.
when they get that bill.
Yep.
Okay.
And they don't realize the choice was 70 or 50.
Yeah. So.
And the question is, what's the value of the service?
What's the value of the service?
That was the discussion that was had about the vegetative waste. It was decided that the value was there to retain it. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Next item is reports and notices. There aren't any. Next item, number 14, is council reports and announcements. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Okay. I'd like to congratulate Zachary Paulino, who was sworn into our police department, I believe, last week. Also, congratulations to Liam Peller for being a junior firefighter. Couple of things about my committees. Economic Development will meet tomorrow night in this same room at 7 p.m. The Pathways of History tours for Morris County is coming up Sunday, October 5th. We will have open. The Pompton Plains Railroad Station will be reopening and will be open for the Pathways tour on Sunday, October 5th from 12 to 5, as well as the Martin Berry House, rain or shine. The Historic District Commission is meeting Wednesday, October 1st at 7 p.m. And the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee is meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. And also, we just got done with the Senior Olympics. I wasn't there, unfortunately, because I'm away, but hopefully that went well. I did not get a report yet. Maybe somebody else has a report on that. And then the street fair, I heard, was a great success. So thank you to everyone who participated in that. That was sponsored by the Chamber. And PV Rotary held a successful golf outing. So thanks to all who came out and made that a success. I think I'm done with my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. Councilman Cole.
All right, so I just wanted to congratulate both fire departments on the new resolution that we approved tonight. Hopefully it does draw some new members. Congratulations to Liam Peller for becoming a junior firefighter for Company 1, I believe, correct? Yep. So congratulations, Liam. As Melissa said, the street fair was very, very well attended. It was a beautiful day. So congratulations to everybody that put that on, the chamber. And we'll see what happens for the next year. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Councilwoman Russell.
First of all, congrats, Liam. Good job, and thank you for volunteering. Our volunteers are really the heart of our town. We say that time and time again, and it takes a lot, especially the younger people coming up. I love to see that, so thank you. Hazardous Waste Day was run very well. Just in, pull in, they had different stations. You stop, they take it out of your car. So that went really great, and I think it's great that they did it right here in town. Street fair was great. Great job done by Heidi and Jess. It looked like packed. Everybody had a good time. This Saturday is the Oktoberfest right behind with the First Aid Squad. They have 50/50s, $100. Winner gets a guaranteed of $5,000. They're going to have some kids rides, some 3 bands. There's beer. It's going to be a lot of fun. The library is going to award the contract to finally do that construction. Yay, it's about time. Spend that money. The hoedown is October 18th with the rain date of the 19th. And I just want to thank the Girl Scouts for planting milkweed at Foothills Park. That's it. For those that don't know, they attract butterflies. And there's been a group of Girl Scouts who's actually planted a lot of milkweed around the town to help the butterflies. And that's all I have, Mayor.
And right now, Saturday looks cloudy, but no rain.
No rain.
For the first day of Squad Oktoberfest.
No rain. I saw Bobby Joe the other day at the street fair, and then it was like supposed to rain. I'm like, Bobby Joe. So no, it's good. It's all good. If anybody's not doing anything on Friday, we've got a lot of work to do.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Councilman Siracusa.
Okay, nothing significant to report from my committees, just they haven't met between last meeting and this one. Thank you very much to all the volunteers in town, especially to the new ones who are trailblazing for your peers, right? Way to set the standard. All right, it's very important because towns, they don't operate, communities don't operate without volunteers, so it's very important. So being so young, thank you for standing up and trailblazing that. Congratulations to the new police officer in town. Hope he has a healthy career and he contributes
Came
well
from another town, right?
Yeah. So, good luck to him. Hope he's, safe and enjoys it here. And that's all I got. Thanks.
When's the official swearing in for us?
October 14th.
October 14th.
So you get to visit him next meeting.
Okay, cool.
All right, for me, a couple things. Shade Tree Committee met last night. Not much going on, but it was good to see them again. Congrats again to B on 101 and walking up the stairs and getting up here. Thank God, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. It was awesome. Also nice, very nice about the fire departments being able to go out and get more members from the surrounding towns and people that don't work here but don't live here. So go get them. Go get them. Liam, thank you for volunteering. That's awesome. Talk to your friends. Get a couple more. That'll be cool, right? I know there's quite a few on there, so you got a pretty good group, I think. Train station's going to open again, so that's very nice. Haven't been there in a little while. Street fair was great. Beautiful day. It was a really nice day. A lot of people when I was there. Unico had their September 11th memorial service. I learned I had a new name, Jim. But anyway, inside joke if you were there. They just had my name in the
program.
Program is Jim. So I said, if you got any complaints, send them to Town Hall. Attention, Jim. But no, it's very nice that they still do it. It'd be nice to have a little bit more of a showing out there, but it was very nice. And I would just like to say thank you, as a couple of council members, of all the volunteers that serve on our committees. In the fire department and all of that. As Kyle said, it's really the heartbeat of our town. So thank you to all of them. And that's...
being that we're talking about volunteers, I forgot and I should have said something. Congratulations to the Eagle Scout that upgraded the 9/11 monument out front. Yeah. Tremendous work that he did.
Yeah. And if you think about it, he wasn't even born then.
Yeah.
He was born 7 or 8 years after that.
Yeah.
So he really did a nice job. If you haven't seen it,
it's lit.
Walk by there. It's lit now, so you can see it at night. So yes, you're right, Dave. That was awesome that he was able to do that. And also, we have a lot, if you don't know, we have a lot of Eagle Scouts in town. In fact, there's another project that's coming up. I don't know. The whole Boy Scout troop just seems to really push the Eagle Scout thing. So it's really nice to have all them in town with all the projects that they do. All right, so next thing is public comment. As a reminder, we welcome comments, suggestions, and questions rather than dialogue. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, please. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Anybody? Yes, come on up. Tom.
Robin Jones, Pumpkin Plains. First, I'd like to thank you all for passing the resolution for the Pompton Riverwalk Park. Appreciate that, and on behalf of Open Space, we thank you very much for that. Couple of quick things. Kyle, I read the referendum on the ballot. Did that come out the way you wanted it to come out?
It wasn't up to me how it came out.
No, I know, but I knew that, but I mean, are you pleased with the wording of that?
I think they could have gone a little further, but I guess they kind of left it vague.
Yeah, it was pretty vague.
Which, like I said, I think the outreach is what's going to be important.
Yeah. Another minor thing, but something I appreciate a lot. I walk my dogs every morning past the high school, make a left on the Sunset, which eventually becomes West End, they put a sidewalk in at that corner, and I really appreciate that because it's dangerous walking dogs when everybody is coming to high school, and there's bushes in the way, and I can't walk on lawns, and I'm walking on the street and holding my breath, and I'm going in.
Don't hold your breath.
In between cars at certain moments, so that's a really one. I'll miss the island. I kind of like that. Had a nice little finding.
Yeah, did you see it like this now, right?
Yeah, so that's a little weird. And so I have questions about the solid waste conversation. We were talking about possibly alternating the solid waste, the cans and the paper, but apparently we're not going to do that. I know it would be very confusing, but if it's a money savings issue, that wasn't A, was that B or C? Or I guess that was B.
That was B, yes.
So B is no good, why?
Just because it's alternating, right? So you only have paper the first and the third week, and bottles.
No, I understand that. I'm only speaking from my point of view. Like, I only have to put stuff out once every couple of weeks anyway. I don't put it out if there's 5 cans in the garbage can. Just where's my garbage cans out, and the garbage men don't need to deal with sanitation workers, whatever their title is. How did they come upon the price of solid waste hauling for a 5-year period? Apparently it's not based on how much tonnage we did in the previous year. So if Riverdale has the same contract, Riverdale is going to get charged the same thing we're getting charged.
When we're done, I can ask Mr. Brewer to elaborate how they figured it out. I have no idea.
A sore point with me is we put out a lot of grass clippings. And a lot of times those grass clippings get wet, and it just incredibly adds to the tonnage that ultimately adds to increases. But it's not direct. If we would save 50 million tons in 2026, isn't going to make a damn bit of difference, apparently.
Yeah, we can ask about the vegetative waste. I don't know if that's just a bulk or is it per ton. I don't know, but I can find out.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Robin, thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, come on up.
Good evening again. Paul Miller, Pequannock Township. For the record, the student that I referenced earlier was the 2025 recipient of the Propel Pequannock Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Scholarship. And we invited them to come here to read the Pride Proclamation, which they did. And I went back to the June 10 video as part of my role as president of Propel Pequannock, and that's why I was there, and then heard the aside. And in my view, Councilwoman, regardless your intent, your penchant for asides when people speak, not just on that occasion, but on many other occasions. Your penchant for those asides is by definition disrespectful, not only to the speaker, but to the body that you represent and to the township that you represent. So I would suggest a couple things. One is that, Councilwoman Russell, you still have an opportunity to apologize to Barbara Muzio, the former library trustee. You've yet to do that. And to this council, you still have an opportunity to recognize Barbara Muzio's more than 30 years of volunteer dedication to that library, which you've yet to do. So I would hope that you would consider to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
We thought you were just standing up to let Paul in.
Hi, Dana Witzak, 6 Bryan Court, Pequannock. I just have some thoughts. We talk about those postcards with our bills, the water and sewer and the garbage. Is that still necessary in 2025? But maybe going into 2026, we can maybe some kind of email that we can get those bills, sign up for emails instead of, having those postcards that I don't even get half the time anyway. They come in my mail delivery list from the post office, but I never see those cards, very rarely. The other thought that I had was the bill pay. I guess I should thank you for not charging us when we pay from our checking account. There's no fee anymore. Is there any way that maybe that system can get set up where we can future pay? Like, for example, my bill is due on the 20th. When I pay my bills, I do them twice a month, on the 1st and the 15th. I would like to be able to go into that site and say, okay, I want this scheduled to pay on the 20th, instead of having to wait until the 19th to pay it for the 20th, or actually 2 days before. And then there was another one, I can't remember what it was, but it must not be that important. But I think it would be great to, those postcards that we don't get, maybe, oh, I know what it was. The other one was, I thought I signed up a while ago, maybe even a couple of years ago, for notifications from the township. You put in your email and then they would, like, I don't know if it was like a newsletter or something that I signed up for, but you're talking about this message to put on this postcard that half the people in town probably don't get. Why don't we have like some kind of, an alert like that to go out to the residents? You can sign up for the email. It's not like you're spamming anybody or like, I remember the Board of Ed got a list of our email addresses and somebody sent out a bunch of emails to us. If you sign up for it, you can send it, like notifications or something. I'm not talking about it like emergency, the reverse system, but something like that. And keep us informed too, if people don't watch the council meetings. But anyway, I think I'm done with that postcard that I don't get. I know my bill is due, and I would prefer to get something online, like like I do with my credit card statements.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else public comment? All right, seeing none, we're going to close that section of the meeting. Mr. Brewer, can you address just a couple of questions that Robin had about solid waste and vegetated waste? I'm not sure how they figured that out.
Yes, sir, I will do my best. So the collection and disposal of solid waste garbage, the township contracts with a hauler who comes around once or now twice a week, right, to collect the garbage. In Morris County, there's something called flow control, which requires that hauler to bring the garbage to the Morris County transfer station. The hauler can't bring it anywhere else. Other counties may or may not have the same requirement. The tipping fee, which is so called because the truck tips it on the ground and it gets weighed going in, it gets weighed going out, and figure out what the tonnage is paid directly by the township. So the township pays for the disposal of the garbage to the county's transfer station as required. We don't abdicate that responsibility to somebody else because we don't trust them. So the hauler for garbage is just to collect it, bring it to the transfer station. With respect to recycling, the hauler collects the recyclable materials and takes possession of them, and then is responsible for either paying to get rid of them or collecting any revenue that's derived from selling them. 25 years ago, there was extraordinary value in recyclable materials, and there was a lot of money being paid for even single stream recycling all bundled together. If you want to engage AI, you can look up Green Sword, was the language that we used at the time to describe the fact that we were exporting most of that material to China, who needed it for the composition of construction and everything else that was going on in China at the time, and then that market has ceased. So today, for the benefit of the audience, there's really only two materials that are deriving revenue in the concept of recycling: aluminum and clean, dry paper and clean, dry cardboard. Ironically, glass is most typically collected, ground up, and used as cover as a landfill. But the requirement to have it collected as a recyclable material and processed as a recyclable material rests with the county solid waste management plan, and we have an obligation to do it. I can talk to you offline about it more, but we can't do a Q&A during this point.
Oh, I just wondered about the plastic.
We could.
Okay, sorry.
So that's how recycling collection goes. So we don't market, try to sell, try to drive revenue. That's incorporated in the collection contract. Similarly, with the vegetative waste collection and disposal, we don't pay based upon the disposal of the material. We just pay the hauler who comes and collects it, and then it is up to the hauler to dispose of it. Juxtaposed to our leaf collection, which we handle with the DPW vehicles that come with the sweepers, that goes over to the compost facility, ultimately gets processed. Some of it gets used, some of it gets disposed of through another deal thereafter. But so there's a lot of elements to this, and unfortunately, it's all extraordinarily expensive. With respect to Ms. Witzak's comments, we have to send the postcard. I get it. I get it. The private world advances at a rate that government just simply doesn't. As noted by the fact that there's still a legal requirement to publish in newspapers of record that don't exist. So it just doesn't evolve at the same rate. It is what it is. With respect to prepaying, I know you can prepay if you interact directly with the office staff. I don't know if the software allows it. The software is relatively new. I'll take a look at that and I'll get back to you.
It's a good idea.
I have no objection to taking people's money early. We're good with that.
No, I don't mean prepay, I mean like to schedule.
Yeah, this schedule. Yeah, I think
That it can't do. That it can't do because that abdicates the responsibility for the transaction to be managed by a computer rather than you. So based upon how we operate, the obligation is on the ratepayer or the taxpayer to initiate the transaction, not the township. Because if something fails, we don't take responsibility.
Pay on this date.
Yeah, we don't. That won't happen. And I can explain later offline. And then lastly, if I'm going to put a notice up on the front page of the website explaining why this is happening, and I'm going to do it under administration. So anybody that's signed up to receive alerts under administration through the Send Me Alerts will get a notification that there's been something posted. So there are a number of different categories and types of alerts people can sign up for, but that will happen provided they're signed up for the right category.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Right, no other comments on that. So approval of minutes. There are no minutes for approval. There are no items for closed session. There being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
No. Meeting adjourned at 8:03.